Every year, a bunch of brand new movies come out, and people see them. And then after that, the writers, directors, actors, and other folks that worked on the film gather around in an event and celebrate 3 or 4 of the movies. Last year, Oppenheimer was the big ticket item, nominated for a bunch of awards, taking home Best Picture. And while sometimes it can feel that the films they nominate are a bit pretentious, or they're a little artsy, or maybe you just haven't even heard of the thing, more often than not, I think Hollywood gets it right. We've had Best Picture winners like $1 Million Baby, The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, Gladiator, American Beauty, Braveheart, Forrest Gump, Titanic, Unforgiven, Schindler's List, Silence of the Lambs. These were huge films. Not only did they leave a lasting impact on audiences, but some of the films were so huge, they were all people were talking about for an entire year. And so while I do believe that the Academy Awards are a popularity contest and it's a bunch of people just patting themselves on the back or acting like they're so progressive and so self-important for nominating such and such film, if we take a look back, we can realize that most of the movies that have been nominated or won, I think were very well earned. That is until this year. This is the first time I checked out the list of nominees and one movie stands out like a sore dick. Bingo. There is a film that's been nominated not just one time here in 2025, not 2 times, but a baker's dozen. And that film is Emilia Pérez. A film so groundbreakingly stupid, so earth-shatteringly terrible, it should have 13 nominations at the Razzies. Emilia Pérez should only be brought up when you're trying to find something to compare the movie Cats to. I'm not being hyperbolic. Emilia Pérez is awful from front to back. Once in a while, there might be a glimmer of something decent, but then it's immediately undercut by some cringe-ass song or some smashed-over-your-head dialogue. Let's talk about why Emilia Pérez has single-handedly destroyed the last shred of credibility the Academy Awards has. The Academy Awards, aka the Oscars, really wish they could just pick a lane and stick with it, has been around since 1929. And as I previously stated, it picks a few favorites for the year and celebrates them through all the different categories, and then we gear up for the next. There's a huge level of prestige that comes from winning one of these Oscars. Not only are you spotlighted for your hard work, and you're admired by your peers, but you get to give an acceptance speech. You have all eyes on you, from your friends, from your family, your co-workers. This is your big moment. And it also sends a message to the audience. This is what makes a great movie. This is what we're looking for in an actor. This is the type of story that really resonates with folks, and it hits you hard. And so with that in mind, we have to circle back around to Emilia Pérez. A Spanish musical, a dark comedy, directed by a Frenchman who knows nothing about the Mexican culture, featuring a bunch of pretend Mexican actresses that don't know how to speak the language properly. I read the comments, I see what people are saying. I'm being told on the internet that the only reason Emilia Pérez is even being nominated at all, being looked at, is because Hollywood needs to send a message. They need to tell people, as the tide shifts politically, as our culture maybe swings in another direction, we here at the Academy are a beacon of hope. We are a beacon of courage, of bravery. And we will stand behind, nay, we will catapult any film featuring Mexicans and trans folks to the forefront. That could very well be what they're doing. I'm not going to say that because I don't have a fucking clue. I'm not an insider. I don't know these people. I have no idea how this really even works at the end of the day. What I know is this. Movies are subjective. A film that works for you might not work for another. However, for me, as someone that watches and reviews a lot of films, I'm pretty good at spotting a movie that I think, hey, it's not working for me, but I could totally see it working for others. And I got none of that with this. I was watching this, racking my brain going, is this a joke? Is this seriously what they're singing about right now? Man to woman, woman to man, penis to vagina. Verbatim lyrics. Verbatim. Is Zoe Saldana really taking a woman's fake weave and rubbing it down her body into her privates and then smelling it in glee and throwing it around, hopscotching on the table? Is Selena Gomez's performance really that insulting to? Oh my God, she sounds awful. I have reviewed this, I guess we're calling it a movie, whatever it's supposed to be, this experience. And I honestly think I would rather sit through This Is Me, ... now, like 4 more times. That Jennifer Lopez vehicle, I'd rather sit through that again than watch any sequence in Emilia Pérez. Oftentimes when I don't like a film, there'll be a comment that says, well, you just didn't get the movie. No one said that because it would be truly impossible. You would have to be missing part of your brain to not understand the plot of this film or what they're trying to convey. Because they tell you word for word what you should feel, how you should respond to scenes, what they're talking about. There is no nuance to any of it. So a really quick recap of the movie. I'm not going to go over it all. You can watch a much longer video, my Emilia Pérez review if you want. I'd appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, of course. And like this video if you find yourself liking it. I'm probably going to dip in and out of some Perez spoilers. So just a warning. But also, the bigger warning would be to not watch the movie. But our girl Zoe, who does a fine job in the film, she's easily the best of the shit that's there. She's like the cream of the crap in this movie. She's a female attorney who busts her ass but doesn't get any credit for her work. In fact, her hard-earned work is taken from her and utilized by someone else. I think that's something a lot of people can relate to. That's pretty much the only thing though, because after that, she's gonna get pulled into a car by a super dangerous, super awful person who is a cartel leader. He is responsible for the drugs and the guns circulating through Mexico, the missing children, the orphaned children. This guy is one of the shittiest human pieces of scum ever to walk God's green earth. But all that's about to change because he woke up one day and said, man, I feel like a woman. And so he's gonna hand Zoe a credit card with unlimited funds so she can go shopping, see the world. No, she has to find a surgeon who can perform a procedure, turning him into the woman she was always meant to be. Once reborn, fresh as a daisy as Emilia Pérez, the 2 children and the wife left behind, she kind of misses and wants back 4 years later. So she goes under the guise of Aunt Perez, and it essentially turns into an R-rated musical version of Mrs. Doubtfire, without the fun and whimsy. And now I miss Robin Williams. Hello! Anyway, Mrs. Featherbottom uproots the family that's now in America, takes them back to Mexico into a new place where they're gonna go to a new school. Emilia Pérez might be this new woman, but she's a bitch. She has taken over this family. She still has all the money that the cartel counterpart of this dead name had, but apparently all that baggage goes away and Emilia Pérez can find new love with another woman, not the wife previously with. She's gonna end up being appreciated and celebrated by the Mexican community. The head of a Mexican cartel who is responsible for flooding the streets with guns and drugs and death. But Amelia opened up a foundation or two to look into who's causing the trouble and how to get the drugs off the streets and free the children. Kind of the Hannah Montana thing going on here. Lizzie McGuire, best of both worlds scenario, playing both sides of the equation. It took me 3 days to finish watching this thing, and I'm so glad it's behind me and I never have to hear about it again. Oh wait, that's right, it's up for 13 Academy Awards. Oftentimes, these award shows are gonna look for something that's different and unique. And I can say Emilia Pérez is certainly that, but that doesn't mean it's good. I remember when my 5-year-old brought home a macaroni art piece from school. It was different, it was unique. It was in the trash about 5 minutes later, because not only does a movie have to have a solid message or two, it should also be, well, what's the, oh yeah, good. Guess the Academy lost that memo. And actually, the message in Emilia Pérez isn't good either, so the story sucks to begin with. What the fuck is this message? Redemption? It's a redemption arc? Emilia Pérez had absolutely zero consequences for her actions from like the authorities or her own family members or society as a whole. In fact, it was quite the contrary. She was celebrated. A statue erected in her honor. And I'm about as far from a conspiracy theorist as it comes. And again, I do not like saying things that aren't factually accurate. I do not know why this movie was truly picked for 13 awards, but based on the information in front of me, aka watching the film myself, I have no issue with people that want to claim that the reason Hollywood is picking this movie is to send a message. And that's all it's for, not because of the quality of the content, but because of what is inside the content. And then I have to push back on that again and say, how stupid are these people? Because the message and the quality of the content seems to be insulting everyone it's pretending to prop up. From what I've been reading, folks in Mexico seem to think this movie is ass and insulting. I've read that the trans community thinks this movie is insulting and shit. Obviously, anti-trans folks hate this movie without even watching it. It's a no-brainer for them. So who is liking this movie outside of the 74% fresh critics on Rotten Tomatoes? Keep in mind, I am Rotten Tomatoes certified myself. I tricked someone over there. And you better believe I put in a negative review for this thing, because it honestly is insulting to all the senses that it's up for these awards. But let's put a bow on this bitch and talk about the awards themselves. What this is sending to me is a message of, hey, it's no longer about the movie at the awards. And there will be people that argue and say it never has been. It's always been about the message. It's always been about shining a spotlight on this or that. And I mean, I suppose if The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King to you is about environmental dangers or something, I don't know. That's a big stretch. Like, there's been plenty of movies nominated over the years that are more just fan crowd-pleasing films that certainly should have been nominated and won, but I mean, we had Oppenheimer last year. I would say in previous years, yes, there are going to be movies that are obviously propped up for messaging, but here's the thing. Movies are art, and art has messages. The truly powerful stuff that rises to the top are the ones that have something to say. So yes, it's going to seem like Hollywood is pandering or they're far left or whatever it might be, but it's because the movies that came out that year also did have something unique or something profound to state. But I cannot, in any good conscience, make that argument for Emilia Pérez. And that's why I say this is the year that the Academy Awards truly has died, in my opinion. This is the year where all credibility has been completely stripped away from them. And what sucks the most is Conan O'Brien is hosting, and he's freaking hilarious. I think this guy is great. It's too bad he's walking into a losing situation. Hopefully he'll bring some levity into it, and hopefully I'll get some laughs out of it. I plan on covering it live on the channel. So again, I would encourage you to subscribe, like the video if you did, hit the notification bell, and hopefully I see you in future videos. And please let me know in the comments below your thoughts on this. Are you happy with the nominees? Do you just want to see the Oscars just go bye-bye altogether and this might be the final nail in the coffin? They've certainly not been doing too well in the ratings the last few years. Let me know, and hopefully I see you next time. Take care. Thanks again for watching the video. If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it if you checked out patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. That's where fans of my channel go to help support it. There are different tiers with different offerings, exclusives every month. We got multiple movie reviews. There's a vlog monthly, and these fine people get a shout out because they're at the upper tier level. Look at these gorgeous folks. They have really gone above and beyond to help support me in the channel, and I appreciate them. And even if you don't want to plop down $1 a month, you can just sign up for Patreon for free and become a member at no charge, just to see what's showing up at least and give you a better sense of it all. Appreciate your time. Thanks.